Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Tagora Haribo 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 Nitagora Haribo Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Radha Sharad Bihari Radha Sharad Bihari Se Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Sri Radhe Om Vishwavad Paramahamsa Parivracharya Stetanasasadi Venkatesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada की जय नामचार्य से हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपी गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंकीर गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय मथुरा धाम की जय मायापुर धाम की जय भक्ति देवी की जय तुलसी देवी की जय गंगा यमुना माई की जय समवेत भक्त बिंद की जय टैगोर Pavanandi Hari Hari Bol all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to Sisi Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, text number 7. Yatsevaya charana padma pavitra renum sadhya Shatakilamalam pratilabdasilam Nashir viraktamapimam Vijahati yasya Prekshalavata itare niyaman vahanti Yatsevaya charanapadma pavitram renum Sajja Shatakilamalam pratilabdasilam Nashri viraktamapimam Vijahati yasya Prekshalavata itare Niyaman vahanti Yatsevaya charana padma pavitra renum Sadhya shatakila malam pratilapta shilam Nashri viraktamapimam Vijahati yasya Prekshalavata itare niyamam vahanti. Devotees.
Devotees and excellent devotees are that. Yatsevaya Charanapadma Pavitra Renum Sadhya Shatakila Malam प्रति प्रतिलब्धशीलं नृसिंहविरक्तम् अपि मां विजयति यस्य प्रेक्षालवर्त इतरे नियमान् वहन्ति.
यत्सेवया चरणपद्मपवित्ररेणुं सज्जाक्षताखिलमलं प्रतिलब्धशीलं नाश्रीर्विरक्तमपि मां विजहाति यस्य प्रेक्षालवार्थ इतरे नियमान वहन्ति.
Hare Krishna. Yatsebaya charana padma pavitra renum shatya shatakshila malam pratilabdhasilam nasir viraktam apimam vijayati yasha preksha labhartha itare niyamam vahanti. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yatseveya charana padma pavitra redhum sadhya yatakil malam pratilapta shilam na sharir viraktam api mama vijuhati yasya preksha lavartha hitare niyama vanti. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Anybody else? So we do the word-to-word translation. Yat of whom, Sevaya by the service, Charana feet, Padma lotus, Pavitra sacred, Renu the dust, Satya immediately, Shata wipe out, Akila all, Malam sin, Pratilabdha acquired, Silam disposition, Na not, Shri the goddess of fortune, Viraktam have no attachment, Api even though, Mam me, Vijahati leave, Yasha of the goddess of fortune, Preksha lava artha, obtaining a slight favor, Itare others like Lord Brahma, Niyamam sacred vow, Vahanti observe. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The Lord continued, because I am the servitor of my devotees, my lotus feet have become so sacred that they immediately wipe out all sin. I have acquired such disposition that the goddess of fortune does not leave me, even though I have no attachment for her. And others praise her beauty and observe sacred vow to secure from her even a slight favor. The relationship between the Lord and his devotees is transcendently beautiful. As the devotee think that it is due to being a devotee of the Lord that is elevated in all qualities. So the Lord also saying it is because of his devotion to servitor that all transcendental glories have increased. In orders, in other words, as the devotee is always anxious to render service to the Lord, so the Lord is ever anxious to render service to his devotee. The Lord admits herein that also he certainly has the quality that anyone who receives a slight particle of the dust of his lotus feet become at once a great personality. This greatness is due to his affection for his devotees. It is because of this affection that the goddess of fortune does not leave him, and that not only one but many thousands of goddesses of fortune engage in his service. In the material world, simply to get a little favor from the goddess of fortune, people obtain many rigid regulations of austerities and penances. The Lord cannot tolerate any inconvenience on the part of the devotee. He is therefore famous as Bhakta Vatsala. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadvapi Swapadansikam Chaitanya Manobhistam Amyena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Sapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kandana Kanda Namastute Takanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Mansh Punakis Samisab Desmond Krishna Goswami Namin Kansa Prabhupada appeared. So we're continuing reading our Srimad Bhagavatam, our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. This is very important verses. It's especially talking about the Lord's relationship with his devotees. And Krishna, in the end of the verse, they say Krishna is Bhakta Vatsal. Bhakta Vatsal means Krishna is a lover of his devotees. So we have many instances in Srimad Bhagavatam where Krishna showed his affection to his devotees. The devotees worship Krishna to get the favor of Krishna, but Krishna, being pleased by the devotion, and he himself, in many instances, serve his devotees, go and serve his devotees, as it is said in this purport, It's not only that my devotees serve me, I serve them too. So there are many examples. Anybody can quote any anywhere where Krishna helps his devotees, Krishna becomes a servant of his devotees.
Krishna Mataji. I think Sudama.
Yeah, that's a very good example. Anybody else? Yeah, Sudama is a very good example. And the Pandavas, they were in constant relationship with the devotee, with them, and Krishna helped them in so many ways. And Krishna even becomes a chariot driver of Arjuna in taking orders from him. And he was a very good friend of Krishna. And Krishna, decided, I will drive your chariot on the battle of Kurukshetra. And he became very, and taking orders, and Arjuna had to tell him what to do, what not to do, where to go, where not to go. So, and he saved his dear devotees, Parikshit Maharaj, from the womb, And also, like Mataji Suman, he was telling about Sudama. when Sudama came to visit him, Krishna ran to the door and received him personally and seated him on his own seat and washed his feet. And with the help of the goddess of fortune, with Rukmini Devi and other queen, and serving Sudama so nicely, washing his feet, sitting him and feed him sumptuous prasadam. And Krishna, and what Sudama was very dear friend to Krishna. And what did Sudama give? He was always thinking about Krishna, and he always treated Krishna with so much affection. And what did it offer? Only like a morsel of rice. And Krishna enjoys this rice so nicely. Then it, like a 7-course meal that, Krishna is very, very pleased for little service that his devotees render. Krishna is very dear. He's like a dear friend, dear father, dear mother, dear everything. If you want to have the best relationship is to have with Krishna, because Krishna is very, very affectionate, and we can see, and there's so many other, Gajendra. Gajendra, he was a devotee in his previous life, and when he went to in the lake, he was attacked by the crocodile, and Krishna, just came and rescued him, and saved him. And Draupadi, he was disrobed in the assembly of all great king and everything, just to protect her, to protect her from being naked in front of a whole assembly of king. Krishna and supply unlimited sari just to cover her dignity, and Krishna is always very, 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 very dear to his devotees. And another instances, Draupadi was in exile in the forest, and the sage Durvasa came with thousands of his disciples, you know, to disciple, and wanted to take prasadam. And Krishna just, and the Pandavas already finished the meal, and there was nothing left. Then, by the mercy of Krishna, uh, Krishna just came and visit them and say, "What do you have?" And take it, just a small bit, 1 grain or 2 grain of rice, and eat it. And this pot starts supplying unlimited food, that that Draupadi can feed thousands of people, of disciple of Durvasa. You know, but unfortunately, Krishna arranged in such ways. They went to take bath and they never came back. They never came back. But Krishna is always there to protect his devotees. And and Krishna even break his promise. He break his promise when he agreed to be the chariot driver of Arjuna. He promised that he will not fight. He will not fight on the battle of Kurukshetra. But when he saw that Arjuna's life was in danger by Bhisma Dev, he didn't hesitate. He just get up from the chariot and just pick up the wheel of the chariot and ready just to kill Bhisma Dev, just to protect Arjuna. So that, and he broke his promise. That's why Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, he said, tell Arjuna to declare my devotee never perish. Prabhupada gave a very nice example. He said, if I tell my devotees that they will never perish, they will not believe me because I broke my promise. But if you, Arjuna, you say, Pratiknatava Govina Name Bhaktya Prayasyati, my devotee never perish. He's always there to protect. So declare to everyone that my devotee, whoever takes shelter of me, never perish. So Krishna is a really, really very very, very, very merciful. So only a Krishna always, only a pure devotee of the Lord can win the heart of Krishna. And the bond between the devotee and Krishna, and the love between the devotee and Krishna, nobody, unless you engage in devotional service, nobody can experience it. And Krishna became, and like he said in this verse, that Krishna he does not only his devotees serve him, but he also serves the devotees, and in the childhood pastime of Krishna, even Krishna chose to be chastised by his devotee, by Mother Yasoda, and Krishna plays a role of a child. A devotee can serve him at the same time, he can be with his devotees, he can become the child of the subordinate child of his parent. And he allowed Mother Yasoda to tie him with a rope, and Krishna, who is the supreme controller, is the supreme enjoyer, is the supreme beneficiary of everyone. He chose to become like a little child to be served by his devotees. That is his affection toward his devotees. And Lord Chaitanya, he said in this verse of Sistastakam Astisya Padaratam Pinasnama Adarshnaman Maratam Karutu Vata Yatatata Vadatu Limpatu Matpadanasula Evanapara. And what is that? Oh my Lord, the protector, oh my Lord, Astisya Padaratam Pinasnama Adarsham. Even you're being present before me, or by your embrace, or you accept me as your devotees, embrace me, or you make me broken hearted. You are free to do anything and everything, for I am your Lord unconditionally. That is the love for the devotee to Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he displayed, how one should love Krishna. He said one should not desire anything in this material world. One should completely 100% desires just to hear and chant about Krishna. And Krishna is so merciful also. Another instance is, he said, when the resident of Vrindavan, they were in great difficulty, and Indra was so angry with them, and sent torrents of rain, thunderbolt, and there was there was flood everywhere, inundation, and they don't have no shelter. What they was just calling Krishna, oh Krishna, please help us. And Krishna, he lifted the Govardhan hill, and all the residents of Vrindavan, they stayed under the Govardhan hill for 7 days. 7 days, being protected, from the heavy rain, from the sun, thunderbolt, from the storm, from the flood, and they was very happily just be under the shelter of Krishna. And Krishna saw that whatever difficulty we are, is always there. If a devotee is always sing of him. That's why Krishna said, become my devotee, man mana bhava mad bhakta madhyaji mam namaskuru. Become my devotee of obeisances to me. In somehow or other, we have to become a devotee of Krishna in order to experience the love between Krishna. Krishna is really, really very, very, very fortunate. Krishna Bhakta Vatsal, he said, is a lover of his devotees. Lover of the devotees, Krishna. So Prabhupada also said that the pure devotee is always with a cow on my heart. Krishna said, I am always in the heart of my devotees. So in this case here, the Jai and Vijay committed an offenses to the Brahmana, and Krishna personally came, and took all the offenses that caused by Jai and Vijay, and take it upon himself. He just said, apologize to the four Kumaras, because my devotees had made a mistake. So the devotees of Krishna are very, very dear to him, and Krishna, he personally, take all the charges, you know, for the mistake of his devotees. In this case, also, it is said that Krishna, because these two devotees, Jai and Vijas, they were serving him so nicely, and Krishna, he cannot see, his devotees being, cursed by the Brahmana, so he agreed to take all the charges. And Krishna is also so as, and one has to respect every devotees, you know and in the service of Krishna, sometime, in our day-to-day activities, sometimes we forget the value of a devotee, we disrespect our devotee, we criticize the devotee, we find fault in the devotees, and we don't know the heart of the devotee, we don't know how much love they have for Krishna. So in our day-to-day dealing, we have to be very, very careful when we talk about other devotees, when we try to put down other devotee, we think we are better than them. And you know and sometimes, when um especially when we're gossiping about other devotees, sometimes we may have some concern, but we approach them, you know, for positive reinforcement, instead of going to one person, to another person, to another person, and trying just to find fault of these devotees. And Krishna is very, very displeased by that, because especially devotees, even there's all kind of devotees. A new devotee has been practicing for so many years, for so many years in women, without having a taste in Krishna consciousness, one will not keep on worshiping Krishna. We have to bear this in mind, that Krishna, you know, every devotees, even apparently they may have some faults, maybe we don't agree with them, but still, in our heart, we should always offer respect to other devotees. And and it's very, very difficult to make a devotees. I read one articles, one devotees posted about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Once, the disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they wanted to open a center. So they asked Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, please come to this place. We're going to open a center here. And Bhaktisiddhanta was very happy as expanding his mission. And he came. When he came, then he noticed there was one devotee that he couldn't find one devotee, and he asked about that particular devotee. Where is that devotee? And some of the of his disciples told him that devotees, you know, he fell down with a woman, and we just kick him out. We told him to go away. And Bhaksila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur became very, furious about kicking out these devotees. And he said, we spend so much energy, our blood, just to make one devotee. Then he made a little bit mistake, and we just kick him out. You know, we drive him away from the association of devotee. And he was very, very displeased by such action. And he asked the devotee, I don't want any center, go. I don't want you guy to open any center. Go ahead and get these devotees back. So even Srila Prabhupada, I read long time back, you know, when sometime a devotee make a mistake and everybody start talking about the devotee, instead of helping the devotee, we start putting him down and kicking him out. And Srila Prabhupada said, you make it so difficult for the devotees to come back to Krishna consciousness. But whoever has come in contact with Krishna consciousness, we can say they're very fortunate. Somehow or other, even sometime they may make some mistake, but still, we have to find ways, especially management, we should not completely, drive away the devotee, prevent the devotees, to take the association of devotees, to be in the association of devotee, you know, unless, there's some terrible, mistakes that the devotees made. But if they just fall down, they have, with all, everybody has passed and everybody has made some mistake. And somehow that we have to try just to bring the devotees back to the association of devotees. Everybody is very valuable. Everybody is very dear to Krishna, and we should not, who are we, we have, first Prabhupada said we have to look our own mistake before judging other devotees. When we're trying to criticize other devotees or put down other devotees, first we have to know about ourselves. How much, are we pure? Are we perfect? Nobody is perfect, like we always say, nobody is perfect. We have to know whether we ourselves are perfect. Who are we to judge other people? So one thing, we have to learn how to be empathic, have to be compassionate, in dealing with other devotees. Because devotees are the heart, like you said, and everyone, the devotees, they are like Pope Krishna says, they always, within the core of my heart, I'm always in the heart of my devotees. So this is one lesson we can learn from this verse, and also in this verse, Prabhupada is talking about the goddess of fortune. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is always serving Krishna. She's always serving Krishna lotus feet. And why is they serving Krishna lotus feet? because Krishna is very dear. And I think, let me read that again in the last verse. In the this is 7. He said, it is because of this affection that the goddess of fortune does not leave him. He has not only one, but many thousands of goddess of fortune in his service. And before he said that his lotus feet become at once a great personality. This greatness is due to his affection for his devotees. Because everybody is looking for to become affectionate, to get love, you know and Krishna also, the goddess of fortune, he, that the only shelter in everywhere you can see is that Lakshmi Devi is sitting by the feet of Krishna, is massaging his feet. He never leave she never leave Krishna's lotus feet. And also he said, in this word, what does it mean? He said, I have no attachment. Even Krishna said, I have no attachment. Krishna is Atmarama, is self-satisfied. He doesn't need nobody to please him. But out of love, he accepts the service of his devotees, and he accepts even the service of the goddess of fortune. But also he said that Lakshmi Devi, like we know in many Indian family, they worship Lakshmi Devi. They don't worship like they need to get devotion for Krishna, for material gain. They worship, especially on Diwali, they will worship Lakshmi just to get, the favor of Lakshmi Devi, of the goddess of fortune, so that they can get a lot of wealth. Everything, they will be materially very, get very well to do. So they just want the wealth. They want, this kind of benediction for Lakshmi Devi. But Krishna, even Lakshmi Devi is always serving him. He's completely satisfying himself, but he accepted the service of Lakshmi Devi. And Prabhupada said, Lakshmi Sahasa Satasam Brahma Sevyamanam. In the spiritual world, there's not only one Lakshmi, the Hasa, the thousands of Lakshmi. They're all serving Krishna. So, another thing that is a very nice song, like Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I think, sings this song about how, I know it's by Narottam Thakur, and the song is said about the greatness of a devotee. You have the devotees, very great personalities, those who have surrendered to Krishna. See, he sang, E Baro Karuna Koro, Vaishnava Gosai, Patita Pavana Tilma, Bine Keonai. He say, O Vaishnava Goswami, please be merciful to me. There's no one except you who can purify the fallen soul. So, by taking shelter of Krishna, one can get purified from all kind of sin. And by taking shelter of the pure devotees of the Lord, one also can be free from all sin. Then we can say that in the case of Srila Prabhupada, when Srila Prabhupada came, to the West, he was a pure devotee. And just by his association, he was able to change the most sinful people and make them into devotees of Krishna. So just by his association, so the pure devotees, it says there's no one except who can purify the fallen soul. Srila Prabhupada, purified thousands of fallen soul. Like, now Prabhupada disciple who has taken to Krishna consciousness so seriously, to the core of their heart, they have become purified and they are changing so many fallen souls. You can see the greatness of the devotees, of a Vaishnava. And the second line of this is Jaharani kate gele papa dure jai emana doyala koro prabhu keba kota pai. Where does anyone find such a merciful personality by whose mere audience all sin go away? So we should not take for granted the association of a pure devotees. There are so many pure devotees, and just by associating within, just by being sitting there and hearing, and all our sin go away. That Narottam Das Thakur is telling us that. And he said, Haristani aparade, Tari Harinam, Tomastani aparade, Nahi Paritran. After bathing in the water of the sacred Ganges, many times one become purified. But just by sight of you, the fallen soul are purified. This is your great power. So this is another thing. He said, even one goes to Ganges just to get purified from all the sin, but by association of devotees, of great pure devotees, we also can get purified by the sight of you. Just by seeing a great devotee, one gets purified. As that's a great power. Of course, the next one is Tomarari Doya Sada. No, number 4. Haristani aparade, Tari Harinam, Tomastani aparade, Nahi Paritran. This is a holy name, deliver one who has committed an offense to Lord Hari. But if one commit an offense to you, there's no mean of deliverance. That's also very important. Like sometimes the first offenses to blaspheme of the holy name is to blaspheme a devotee who has dedicated his life to propagating the holy name of the Lord. That's the first offenses to the holy name. So here also it says the holy name deliver one who committed an offense to Lord Hari. But if one commit an offense to you, to a devotee, there is no mean of deliverance. So when when Sukracharya, the guru of the demigod, committed an offenses to Bali Maharaj, who was a pure devotee, He was a pure devotee, and then Krishna said, you have to go and ask forgiveness from him in order to be delivered. And so many instances when you commit an offenses to a devotee, sometimes we committed offenses in our daily practice. We should be humble enough to go and ask for forgiveness. If we want to stay devotee, to be a devotee, we should take off our false ego. Sometimes we have false ego. Why should I go? He disrespect me, he treated me like that. But we have to be humble enough, like that have been taught by all our Vaishnavas, acharyas, in order to be delivered from any offenses that we may committed to devotees. We have to go to the devotees and beg for forgiveness. That's the only way you can be free from offenses. And sometimes, if we committed offenses, say devotee, then gradually we start losing taste for chanting the holy name, for practicing our sadhana, and our consciousness get very polluted. Get very polluted, and we lose our taste. Then we don't feel like chanting. We don't have any desire just to run the service, and we can see our consciousness is more attracted to material activities than spiritual activities. So that we can say maybe we are committed some offenses, to some devotees. Within your mind, personally, you have to go and and ask forgiveness. That is recommended, by by great Vaishnavas who have to rectify our offenses to devotees. Also, the next line is saying, Tomarari doya sada Govinda Visram, Govinda kohe namora Vaishnava paran. He said, your heart is already resting place of Lord Govinda. Lord Govinda says, the Vaishnavas are in my heart. So also that's one very good example. When we're dealing with each other, we have to always try to remember that Krishna is residing in this devotee's heart. In this devotee's heart. And the Vaishnavas, Krishna is always residing in their heart. So we should always try to treat everyone with respect, and be free from their tendency, to find fault in devotees. If we can help them, in a positive way, we can sit and talk to the devotees and try to help the devotees. If we cannot help, we cannot do anything to them, we should just let everything in the heart of Krishna, in the hand of Krishna. Because in the hand of Krishna, and Krishna will know what is the best for the devotees. And it's not our position, to bring down, to criticize the devotees, or, just to look down on any devotees. Even we cannot say only pure devotee. Anyone who has taken insult of Krishna, who is chanting the holy name of the Lord Chaitanya said is a devotee. The different grade of devotees, but still we should not think, okay, we should always respect senior devotee, Prabhupada disciple, or our guru, or certain devotees who knows the scripture very well, who well versed in the scripture, and those devotees who are doing manual service, who who doesn't talk too much, who's very humble, and we should just respect them. We can treat them whatever way we want. So this kind of treatments we should be avoiding. because Krishna is winning the heart of each and every devotees. So we have to be very, 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 very careful with our dealing. Treat everyone with respect and love as much as we can. And the last, the last mm, uh, verse of this song is, it says, Pratijanme kori asa charana duli narotama koro doya apnaradu boli. I desire the dust of the holy feet in every birth I may take. Please consider Narottam yours and be kind upon me. And we can learn from great Vaishnava like Narottam Das Thakur and Bhaktivinoda Thakur how what kind of consciousness they have in treating how to treat Vaishnavas. And he said, I desire the dust of the holy feet of every birth I may take. So such a humble attitude, you know. And in order for us to be dear to Krishna, we have to follow in the footsteps of pure devotees like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, how they pray and how they treat devotees. So, in this note, I would like to leave it open if anybody have any feedback or comment or experience or realization.
Hare Krishna devotees, if anybody has any comments, realizations, you can just unmute yourself or raise your hand. Thank you very much, Mataji. I think these last couple of chapters and this chapter has been very thought-provoking for a lot of us. One thing that you had said was how Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj was saying that it takes so much effort, so much energy, so much blood to make one devotee.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other point you had said was, devotees are all of different grades. We are not to sit and decide who is what. Our job is to treat devotees. And actually, for that matter, Krishna is there in everybody. Every living being has Krishna in them. Paramatma is in them. So we need to treat every living being with respect, with love, and as a prospective devotee. So it is really, really important, not just that we treat somebody properly and correctly, but that if they should leave this path because of our behavior, that is even bigger of an offense, I think, or a difficulty. Something we really, really have to keep in mind, and keep in mind as we are going through our dealings every day.
Yeah, I think we're learning from this verse. This verse of Bhagavata, is an eyes opening for us, especially, by dealing with other devotees. How it is so important to give respect to everyone, because if you want to be dear to Krishna, because Krishna love everyone. Krishna doesn't see our fault; He still loves us. So I personally have so much faults, so much anarthas, that Krishna still accepted me. The Prabhupada still accepted me, and who am I not to, that we have to, be very, very careful in our dealing.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Kabbalah Prabhu, you want to say anything, Prabhu? You've been senior devotee and
Hare Krishna Mataji.
you have a lot of dealing of so many Vaishnava, so many cases. Now you can give some about dealing with other devotees, because Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for a nice class.
You want to
And,
ask, Prabhu? Yes.
not really. You said everything nicely. That we should respect devotee. Doesn't matter he's junior or senior or whatever, because every devotee really deserves that he should be properly addressed. Not like that is a new guy. So I just want to say anything to him, not like that. Actually, everybody should be respected properly as a devotees, and that will really keep our whole society in proper perspective. Yes, so we have to behave properly and not to have any envy with anybody or any fight with anybody. So if we keep the environment of peace and love among ourselves, it will give good example to the whole society also. And then people can really feel closeness to each other. And then they can ask questions, or we can exchange whatever we read today or we heard today from somebody. We can exchange these kind of thoughts. So that will really help. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah. If anybody else has anything and they want to add.
I don't see any other hands up.
Okay, if we don't have, so we'll end. Thank you very much for being there, and please come to today's snow day. I don't know if everybody will be able to come to the temple or not. I hope the road are clear. And
yes, everybody stay safe and have a very Krishna conscious day. And we'll have our class again tomorrow morning at 7:50.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vancha kalpatarubhyo cha kripa sindhubhyo eva cha
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.